All right, welcome back to the Fox 25 Morning News outside our Beacon Hill studio. The heavy hitters are here. Cosmo Macero of O'Neill Associates, a man who is none too pleased that in the first time in the history of the heavy hitters, we were bumped.
Making history. No one has ever bumped the hitters.
Deval Patrick bumped us today.
He's the governor.
I think he may have just lost a vote.
I'll cut him a break.
Maybe more than one.
He will never lose Cosmo's vote. Peter KADZIS of the Boston Phoenix joins me as well. Let's start with the governor's debate last night. The last televised debate. They've had something like 15 of these, Cosmo. Your thoughts on the last one?
A little quirky, a little interesting with the questions, a little different, very safe. Look, if you're Deval Patrick, you're playing the prevent defense. His job last night, don't make any mistakes. Don't create a moment for Charlie Baker. I think he did that. I thought Baker was really good. He was on. But he didn't land a knockout or a knockdown, like we've said before. He didn't create a moment for himself, but, he's a thoughtful guy. He can't help himself. He gives thoughtful, meaningful answers. But I think Deval did what he needed to do to stay where he is.
Seemed like Charlie needed a game changer, Peter. I did not see one last night. Did you?
No, it wasn't a game changer, but I think even despite the Big Dig memo, I thought Baker put in maybe his best performance yet. He got his message across, taxes, taxes, taxes. But still, I don't think the debate changed the dynamic as we understand it. Now, the reason I say as we understand it is this is a very flaky election year, and while Governor Patrick enjoys a lead in the polls, it's who comes out to vote that is going to determine.
In an election that was supposed to be very fluid, especially with three principal candidates, this thing has been very static, Cosmo, and last night seemed to continue that theme.
If you're Baker, if you've seen his ad on what's happened the last 4 years, man, that delivers one heavy hit after another, excuse the pun, one punch after another. He probably needed to bring some of that.
That's what I thought.
I guess the decorum of the venue didn't allow him to do that, but that's what he needed to bring, and he didn't.
It was asked, tell me what's going to happen if these guys are elected, and Baker did not jump on Deval.
He had six good points from his own ad.
Well, I think that may reflect a weakness in the campaign, and that I think Baker and Cahill, far more than the governor, have been running on the past, on Deval's past mistakes. And while Governor Patrick lacks specificity, he at least makes a nod to the future.
Charlie Gibson, the host last night, asked several off-the-wall questions, some of which were answered well, others that weren't. For starters, what's the last item you splurged on? All four of them said dinner with the wife, or the husband in the case of Jill Stein. Is that an acceptable answer, number one, Cosmo? And then two, what was the last thing you splurged on?
I got about 1/10 the net worth of Charlie Baker. I dropped $60 on dinner last night. I'm not sure.
And your wife wasn't even there.
I'm not sure how much of a splurge that was. Meanwhile, if you're Governor Patrick, I don't know. How about Sweet Pea Farm, the big mansion out in the Berkshires? That's a splurge.
That's a splurge for us, I have a feeling. By the way, if you're making 1/10 of what Charlie is, you're still in the top tax bracket. Peter, how about you?
I don't know. It's a tough one. I think I'd have to say I was running late and I took a cab here rather than the tea.
That counts.
Okay, pretty sad stuff.
That counts. Charlie asked him, who's the actor or actress?
I take a cab every Tuesday.
It's true. Who's the actor or actress that you would pay to see? And again, this one was met with mixed results.
Number one, I think Jill Stein, the last movie she saw, maybe Annie Hall. Charlie Baker says anything with Pixar. Governor Patrick says Halle Berry. So, okay, he likes cartoons. He's Randy for Halle. At least Tim Cahill throws out Jack Nicholson. You got Al Pacino, you got Clint Eastwood. I'll take Lee Marvin. Those guys, they all came up
like Matt Damon.
I'll take Matt Damon.
Wait a minute, you stole my guy.
Yeah, they all came up short, except I'll give Cahill points.
Matt Damon or Michael Caine.
The hippest one was Halle Berry, and she hasn't made a movie in 10 years, I don't think. Finally, Charlie Gibson says, first question out of the box, give me the poetry of your vision for the Commonwealth. Now, to their credit, none of them bit on that. But with that being said, Cosmo, what is the poetry of Cosmo Macero? He goes to the paper.
It's easy to grin when your candidate wins and you know that the other guy's beat. But the governor worthwhile is the one who can smile when his shorts are too tight in the seat.
Well done, my friend Peter. You cannot top that.
I don't think I can. I penned here a little ode to a future governor. Give me a dome where no legislators roam, and the skies are sunny and gay, where never is heard that taxable word, and the voters all call me king.
Not bad, not bad, actually, at all.
Completely original, unlike mine.
I'll give you a last topic. I'll give you a better line of poetry, and it involves just 2 words. Shove it. We heard it from Rhode Island last night. The Democratic candidate for governor, Frank Caprio, not to be confused with Frank Capra, obviously, Cosmo, told Barack Obama he can shove his non-endorsement. A, smart politically to do this. B, can you remember another politician telling a member of his own party to shove it?
Or the president. I mean, I think a lot of people across America are saying, hey, take this presidency and shove it. But as far as him, a little bit of a tantrum, because it sounds like he's disappointed he's not getting the endorsement. But I kind of like his chutzpah.
Even when Cahill announced for Duvall, he didn't tell Duvall to shove it. I mean, even he was like, well, I want to do my own thing, blah, blah, blah. Peter, you're a Rhode Island guy. You followed politics down there for a lot of years. As a matter of
fact, I was there almost all day. I would say, listening to talk radio and talking to people in the street, that it has been a net plus, maybe even a big plus for Caprio. First of all, Caprio's a very shrewd politician. I don't think he blows his nose without calculating the risk. It's very telling that in probably the most democratic state in the nation, small though it may be, a candidate for governor can tell the president to shove it, and it's a plus.
Very telling, too, in that same state. A guy that's an independent is winning the election so far, who used to be a Republican, but has always been a Democrat. I mean, what's going on down in that little state, Peter?
Well, the beauty of Rhode Island
Lincoln Chafee, the guy.
Right. I mean, it is the twilight zone of American politics, which is why I love it so much. What's even more amazing is Chafee has the backing of the unions in a very unionized state.
And Barack didn't endorse Caprio because he's friends with Chafee.
Well, what it is Chafee endorsed Barack
right.
Against
which
John
was allegedly
McCain.
Crossing party lines, which was ridiculous. Last question, quickly, and I haven't prepped you on this, but Cosmo, if you could tell anyone in the world to shove it, who would it be?
Oh, man, every cab driver who's ever in front of me while I'm driving.
Peter?
I will not allow myself the luxury of answering that question.
Peter KADZIS of the Phoenix, Cosmo Macero of O'Neill & Associates.